Hello friends! Today we're going to evaluate this 14-inch long blade electric chainsaw. I've used chainsaws in the past, not an electric one. So let's see what this thing does. We're going to take it out in the field and actually test it. Well, actually it's my backyard. So let's open the box up. Okay, got some instructions and a little bit of oil. Oil's important. Okay, put the box to the side. Ooh, hear that. Alright, so it comes with a nice little cover here, which not all chainsaws have. That's good. Instructions and chain oil. There's where the oil goes in. Here's the little knob. Does it lock up? We'll have to figure that out. There's the motor and an extension cord. But I understand that the longer the cord is, the less amperage goes into the motor. It's got a nice little guard here. It's obviously for people, you can't really, well I guess you could switch hands on it. It's just a little different kind of, and here's a nice guard to keep you safe. Here's what the front looks like. Teeth-wise, it looks pretty much the same. It's an organ blade, which is good, and it's got low kickback, or so it says on this side. We'll figure that out too. By the way, I paid for this with my own money, so this will be an honest review. $49.99, and I paid $39.99 with a $10 off coupon. You can obviously use the 20% off coupon, will get you around the same ballpark. As with all chainsaws, you have to make sure that this is tight enough, but not too tight. It comes with 100 milliliters of oil, and it has a nice little indicator right here that goes from 120 down to minimum. Just says bar chain oil, nothing special. Maybe the instructions will tell you a little bit more. And then 2 adjustments, an Allen wrench and then just a regular hex kind of extended wrench to give you a little extra leverage. So I'm going to read the instructions and then we'll take it out and give it a try. Here's the situation we have. A downed tree that I cut down with a hatchet and a saw. We had to cut it down a couple weeks ago because it was going to go over the neighbor's fence and make a lot of damage in high winds. It was all soggy. It was falling down, leading kind of like this one that I'm going to have to cut down next. So we just did an emergency cut on it. That was a couple weeks ago, so it's dried out a little bit. It's not completely sappy for a pine. I've got the appropriate electrical wire running up to an outlet up on the deck. So I have the chainsaw that I just got and the Corona, which I did an evaluation on previously. I'll post it up here. I've got leather gloves, hearing protection, eye protection, and pretty much tight-fitting clothing so that it doesn't snag into the chainsaw in any way. So let's go. Let's give it a shot. I'm left-handed, so my natural tendency is to do this with the saw. The only problem is, according to the instructions, you don't want to do that. You want to do this. So that's kind of unnatural for me. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. So it's much quieter than a chainsaw, gas chainsaw. So I'm kind of curious which is faster, the Corona handsaw or this chainsaw. So I have 2 branches that are very much the same size. I'm going to cut with the Corona first and then the chainsaw. Can't force the chainsaw to make it go faster. That's not good. So here we go. All right. That's that. Now, let's do the chainsaw. It might be a little faster, but is it more efficient? I guess that's the question. One of the things you have to do is make sure that keep the electric cord clear, which is a little different than obviously when you have a gas powered chainsaw. And you have to make sure you don't stack up the branches on the electrical cord. Gotten most of the branches off. I've used a combination of the Corona saw and the chainsaw for the smaller stuff. Anything around inch and a half, it's just as fast to go with this as it is with this. And I want to save the oil, which it doesn't seem like it's gone through very much at all, and the chain for cutting up the trunk, because that's a lot harder with something like this than it is with something like a chainsaw. You might have also noticed that I left the tree branches on the bottom on the main trunk. That will help me get this up so that I can cut it easily, and then I'll just trim those off afterwards. By the way, the undercut going underneath the trunk, very easy, not a problem with the chainsaw. I think you get the idea. I'm just going to keep cutting this up and then I'll give a final assessment. So that was a little bit unexpected. I was going along cutting the logs. I got on this log and all of a sudden the chainsaw chain popped off. I've been using chainsaws for 10, 15 years. I've never seen one do that before. So hopefully I can put it back together. But a nut here that's really loose didn't give me much indication at all. There was a little bit of wobbliness now that I think about it, but I thought that was just, you know, kind of sticking to the log a little bit, and that was what it was. No indication that there was this much play before the chain threw. Alright, this is what it looks like taken apart. When I started walking up the stairs to the deck, this thing was really loose. And that might have been where it came off. I've noticed that the chain went back fine. That's okay. This chain driver is different than the one that was in the picture. It was more of a spoke and cog kind of thing. I don't know, maybe it's more efficient, who knows. There's not a bolt up here at all for the second spot. It's just this one adjustment bolt right here. Everything seems okay. Just have to see if I can put it back together and get it working again. Okay, a bit of troubleshooting later. I think I've got it together. This bolt is the problem right here. I've backed out the chain tensioner on the other side all the way to the max, and I'll tension that up a little bit. That's a little too loose. But this bolt just gave way, just loosened up on it. I don't know if it was loose when I got it or what, but I'm really honking down on that, and it's not going anywhere now. I'm using the tools that I was provided. Yeah, okay, so that's solid. This button that goes over the top of it, doesn't really fit on it anymore. Ew, not sure what to think about that. All I can imagine is that maybe it was put on backwards. Yeah, it doesn't fit on there. So that gives you a false sense of things. That's pretty solid. It's not moving very much at all. It's in the channel. I don't feel like I need this button.
I'm thinking, no, it just doesn't. No, I can't get it to fit on there anymore. Unless the spacer on the other side goes the other way. Let's check that out. This is what happened. I had the spacer like this because it had popped out of here. So I wasn't really sure how it went. And that wasn't good. You want the spacer to be like that, and the way you're going to get that is by pushing it into the thing like this. And then it puts this little tab in here and it all lines up. Okay, now this should work and the button should stay on. And the diagram is absolutely very little to no help. It doesn't have that spacer on there at all. The diagram in the manual. Let's tighten it back up. Yeah, it's going to work now. Crikey. Shouldn't be that complicated. Maybe it isn't, and I'm overthinking it. Difference. Because I don't want that to come apart again. So, note to self, make sure that that is real tight. And does the cap fit on now? Yep. Okay, for anybody who's never tightened up the chainsaw chain, you want it so it's flowing, but you have to loosen this bolt up here so that you can make the adjustment here. It's little fine adjustments. You want about that much space. Snaps back in place. You don't want it too loose at all. Now I'm going to tighten this back up again, and I should be ready to go. We'll see how it works. Okay, it seems to be working fine now. I just check it every time before I hit another log that it's all together and tight. Now I'll finish up the rest of this and give you an evaluation. To review, started here, cut all of the branches off, went all the way there, and started cutting into the trunk. Came all the way down, finished it off here. These over here about 8-10 inches thick, and chainsaw went through it really well. With the exception of the hiccup of it falling apart, which I guess is a little bit on me. So the devastation is complete. What do I think about this thing? Well, as long as you can keep the bolt on, it works great. Around the house, in the yard, as long as you don't need more than 200 feet worth of extension cord. In the wild, yeah, maybe the gas powered is better. But around the house, it's convenient. You don't have to worry about the mixed gas, and it works like a champ. Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more evaluations outside, indoors, coming soon.